welcome to the Port Clinton City Council regular meeting of June 25th, 2019. Please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, the Lord's Prayer, and taking a moment of silence for our military, veterans, and first responders. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Steve Bulow?
Here.
Bill Friedman?
Present.
Beth Gilman? Here. Roseanne Hickman?
Present.
Brian Hill?
Here.
Margaret Phillips? Here. Lisa Sardi?
Present.
Thank you. Council, you did receive the March 29th, 2019 meeting minutes, as well as the April 2nd, 2019 special meeting minutes. At last council session, we tabled the March 29th minutes until today. I would like to have a motion to approve the minutes as they are now written.
Madam President, I move for approval of the March 29th, motion to approve March 29th meeting minutes.
And anything for April 2nd special meeting
And April
minutes?
2nd.
So we have motions to approve March 29th and April 2nd. And a second from Mr. Friedman. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting minutes stand approved as they are written. The chair notes that certification has been received regarding the compliance with the rules and notification of this meeting. This evening, we have no guest presentation, and we also have no public comment this evening. So we'll now move to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Folks, over the past couple of weeks, you've had the opportunity to meet some of our summer, from my day job, some of the summer staff from overseas. The last two young ladies arrived about 9 days ago from Taiwan, and I'd like to introduce you to Debbie and Lynn. Debbie is from Kaohsiung, Taiwan, which is in the southern part of Taiwan, where it was 87 degrees today. And Lynn is from Taipei, which is the capital, New Taipei City, in the northern part of Taiwan, where it was also 86 degrees and very humid today. They're both recent college graduates, and they're here until the end of September. So if you get an opportunity to say hi or see them around town. I asked them if they wanted to say anything, and they said no. This past week or so has been overwhelming for the city of Port Clinton on a bunch of things, most of them positive, that don't involve floodwater. We had the Great Ohio Bike Adventure in town, as many of you saw, with several thousand bicyclists camped out at Port Clinton High School. I had the opportunity over the time they were there to walk through Tent City and meet with a wide variety of folks from quite literally all over the place. I met a gentleman from Yugoslavia, several from Canada, Georgia, Arizona. Not as many from Ohio as I thought. It was from several other places, and obviously all the shops and restaurants were filled. That was followed up then by the fishing tournament. Around 50 fishing teams from all over the Midwest and Northeast, and that was a neat experience. That's going to be on television in a couple of weeks. And then the weekend ended with the Bike to the Bay, and kind of forgot about that, to be honest with you, with all the other fun activity taking place in town. That annual event brought in another 750 bicyclists that rode over from Toledo for the afternoon and evening. And all of this was put together by the very hard work of the folks at the Chamber of Commerce, Nikki Nicole, and their team, so I want to thank them, and also Mr. Martin and Mr. Colston. I saw them all over town the past couple of days putting their touches on making sure those events went well. And of course, several council members, Mrs. Sardi, Mrs. Hickman, Mrs. Gilman, and others. Forgive me if I didn't say, I know many of you were involved in that, and thank you very much. and of course the Jerry and Larry Show. You can't have a festival in town without the two of them showing up and lending a helping hand. So thank you all for your interest in the city and making sure that our visitors and locals are attended to and enjoy themselves while they're here. A couple of things I'd like to add for the correspondence this evening. I received an invitation from TMACOG, the Toledo Metropolitan Area Council of Government. They're having their summer caucus with state legislatures. That's going to be on Wednesday, July 31st in Perrysburg from 8:30 to 12:45. That's open to anyone in city government. And then the National Rifle and Pistol matches received an invitation to their first shot opening ceremonies, which will be on Monday, July 8th. That will take place out at Camp Perry at 10 a.m. When you pull into Camp Perry, just go straight in until you hit the flagpole, and then good luck finding a place to park. So that's a neat event if you haven't had an opportunity to be down there for that. Yeah, am I correct? Good luck finding a place to park. Okay. On July 15th, Monday, July 15th at 7 p.m. in this room is a meeting organized by TMACOG. There's the Portage River Water Trail that's being planned from Pemberville to Port Clinton. They've had a series of meetings up and down the Portage River. Obviously, Port Clinton being the terminus of the Portage River, or the start, I guess, whichever way you're heading. That, again, is open to the public. I believe there's Mr. Trolley is going to be attending that, as well as some other folks. So, again, if you like that, it's on Wednesday the 15th, right in this room at 7 p.m. Council and other members at the table, you'll see in front of you the festivities for the 4th of July. Funds are coming in greatly for that. So we should have a full slate of activities, starting bright and early with a 5K run, working our way through that evening. Of course, the highlight and the new event for this year is the Flags of Honor. And I know I've mentioned this a couple of times. That's coming together quite nicely. The opening ceremony will be at 5 p.m. in Waterworks Park at the Fountain. And again, if you're not familiar with Flags of Honor, it's a traveling memorial that was started by a Gold Star family. It recognizes the now 301 service members from the state that have given their life in the global war on terror. In total, there will be 900 flags on display in the park from 5 p.m. on the 4th, 24 hours, until 2 p.m. on the 7th with the closing ceremony. There's a sign-up online that gets you that information. They've asked that we have Sentinels of Honor stand guard, at least 2 on 2-hour shifts during that entire time, and there's just a few time slots available. So I'd like to thank the community at large for stepping up and helping out with that. Really looking forward to this event, bringing this to Port Clinton. I had the opportunity to see it a couple years ago down in Bellevue, and this Friday night, I'm traveling to Willard to see their opening ceremonies. So that it's a very moving experience. And finally, this evening, Council, in front of you is the reading of an ordinance talking about the DORA. It's the first of 3 readings. There'll also be a public hearing, as you all know. This is something that I personally have been working on for well over a year and a half before this all happened here, and I started sitting at this table. The Main Street organization approached me and a few other folks. They found this idea useful in other communities to generate revenue and activity in the downtown. We researched it quite heavily at several meetings, brought the information through the Main Street Board of Directors, the whole process, and now it's been a long process to get to this stage, and I, for one, am excited. I can't go into an establishment in downtown without someone asking me when this is going to start. So I hope you give it serious consideration, and I look forward to seeing this passed after the 3rd reading. And with that, Madam President, I'll keep it short and sweet. You all have a good day.
Thank you. The auditor's report.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to report I did go into the new hotel, Fairfield Inn. It's beautiful. You might want to walk in the lobby and look out. You can see Lake Erie through their windows. I handed them some papers because, of course, we want their bed taxes, and they have paid already. This month for the bed taxes, total is $24,782.25. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. The Law Director's report.
Nothing this evening, Madam President.
Thank you. Safety Service Director's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to reiterate what the mayor said, that thanking the various council members who assisted and other volunteers in the city, and especially the chamber folks for helping put on the party in the park this week for the COBA folks and the Cabela's Masters Walleye. One of the neat things that we heard, especially from not only from the folks from COBA, but especially from the Cabela's, I don't know how many years they said they've been doing this circuit nationwide, the Masters Walleye circuit, but they said they've never had a community anywhere that they fish as a community turn out and lay out the red carpet like the city had. And so I would say kudos to the chamber and to all of our volunteers and our local businesses and community who really welcomed them to be here. They have indicated that we'll see them not in 2020 because their schedule is already set for that particular tournament, but they would like to come back in 2021. We're looking at even coming earlier in the year, and then already talking about a possibility of a winter event with the International Federation of Ice Fishing Federation. So that would be a very positive week for that. Also want to thank the various council members and our police department, the fire department, for their work with the Special Olympics torch run that took place on Sunday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it down there as planned due to unforeseen incident, but the reaction and the public reaction to it's been fantastic. I did want to briefly address the high water assessments and some questions that I've received. First, we've applied for, and I'm certain that you've seen on the city beach, we did create a temporary structure that was made possible through an application that we did with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, Office of Coastal Management, and we have received in-water work restriction waiver and temporary shore structure permit. We're only doing work, and we'll only do work above the ordinary high water mark, which right now is significantly underwater. So we do have some work to our area that we can work there, but the Jersey barriers that we've placed there we've only been in place for a couple weeks. And if you take a walk down there and look, the northernmost ones are working the way we expect them to. We've probably gained 6 to 12 inches, if not more, almost 18 inches of sand along there, and we'll be pulling those back out, setting those above the sand, continue to gather sand. That was the whole idea, to protect the infrastructure, slow down the water, slow down the wave action that's scouring the beach there and that had exposed the conduit, and also try to protect the wall until we can get the full assessment done there. The other is we're continuing to work with our state and federal partners. We're looking at ways to mitigate the flooding that we see downtown. There seem to be a lot of questions about the streets flooding at Perry and Monroe and the damage that's occurring on Monroe, and that it's because we're not cleaning out catch basins. That's not the case. This is strictly based upon if anybody drove Perry and Monroe today, crossed across the bridge, it was dry this morning. It was dry at 5:15, and at 6:15 when I came back, it was almost completely across the road. That's nothing more than a wind change, the water level from the river and the lake, trying to find its easiest escape through those. We are working and have a plan. It depends on the weather. It depends on finances. And it depends on a lot of conditions that are out of our control. But we will be addressing the cave, what we're seeing at the end of Monroe and Perry as soon as we can. Get divers in the water to do what we need to do. So we're addressing it, but I can't stress enough that this is not a matter of the street department or the city administration working with all of you and many partners that we have from state, federal, private non-government organizations who are lending us assistance and guidance to try and come up with resolutions to address this. And so we're doing that, and we'll continue to do that. It's a very big issue that's going to take some time to address, and we just continue to hope that when these wind changes that do occur only last for a short amount of time. We've not seen a long, sustained 3-day nor'easter yet, with rain, and hopefully hopefully we won't see that and get through this and continue to mitigate things that we will see. And I will report back through the various committees and to each of you as I can what we're doing to address these. If you have any other questions, I would encourage you to contact us. Thank you. That's all, Madam President.
Thank you. The police chief is not with us this evening, and the fire chief is not with us this evening as well. Correspondence, council, you received the Emergency Services Committee minutes dated June 8, 2018. And in addition to that, Mayor Snyder asked the first shot ceremony invitation Monday, July 8th at 10 a.m., as well as the Timocog Summer Caucus with state lawmakers from Ohio and Michigan. That is Wednesday, July 31st, 8:30 to 12:45 at Penta Career Center on Buck Road in Pearsburg. I ask for a motion to approve the correspondence as stated, please. Mrs. Hickman? First, and a second? Second from Mr. Friedman. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam President, we have a slight error on this. Before it's accepted, emergency services met on the 18th, not the 8th.
The minutes are correct, so is that correct?
The minutes are correct, it's just, it
Just
says
a
here we
typographical
have
error,
the 18th.
or just a typographical error on June 18th.
I don't know if you have to have something.
Let's do a motion to amend the agenda so that the agenda shows the Emergency Services Committee minutes dated June 18th, 2019. Do I have a motion to amend the agenda? Mr. Friedman?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second to amend the agenda? Second from Mrs. Gilman, excuse me. All of those in favor to amend the agenda? Any opposed? So we've amended the agenda to show the Emergency Services Committee minutes are dated June 18th, 2019.
Make a motion to accept the amended correspondence as stated.
A motion to approve the amended correspondence as stated. For Mr. Friedman, a second. From Mrs. Hickman. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Correspondence stands approved as stated. We'll now move to the reading of ordinances and resolutions. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only? Ordinance 19-19.
Ordinance 19-19, ordinance to approve April 2019 replacement pages to the Portland codified ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action on ordinance 19-19?
Madam President, I move to retain the emergency clause.
A motion to retain the emergency clause from Ms. Phillips. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Second from Mrs. Sardi. Further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Gabe Velo,
Yes.
Joel Friedman,
Yes.
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Roseanne Hickman.
Yes.
Brian Hill.
Yes.
Margaret Phillips.
Yes.
Lisa Sardi.
Yes.
Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 19-19?
Madam President, I move to adopt ordinance 1919.
A motion to adopt ordinance 19-19. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Second from Mrs. Sardi. Further discussion? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Lisa Sardi.
Yes.
Margaret Phillips.
Yes.
Brian Hill.
Yes.
Roseanne Hickman.
Yes.
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Joel Friedman.
Yes.
Gabe Velo.
Yes.
Ordinance 19-19 has been adopted. We have no second readings this evening. We'll move to new readings of ordinances and resolutions. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only? Ordinance 20-19.
Ordinance 20-19, an ordinance creating a designated outdoor refreshment area for the city of Port Clinton, enacting regulations and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action on ordinance 20-19? Seeing none, ordinance 20-19 will be moved to its second reading at our next regular council meeting, which is scheduled for July 9th, 2019. Just a note, Also at 7 p.m. on July 9th, we will have the public meeting for the DORA, which is the designated outdoor refreshment area. The public is, of course, invited to attend, encouraged to attend.
Thank you, Madam President. I also would like to thank the Chamber for all the hard work that they did for the past week. It was nice to see a lot of people here in town. I hope with the walleye tournament, got a lot of good compliments. I think people enjoyed themselves. It was nice. We only had one rain day, so torch run was very nice. If you haven't been able to attend that, you should. The fire truck set up, it's really nice to see athletes come back and get off and then run down there. Infrastructure, the next meeting will be July 2nd at 6:30. I will be canceling the Parks and Rec on July 9th, and that is all.
Thank you, Mrs. Sardi. Mr. Friedman.
Nothing for me tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Mrs. Hickman.
I'll just echo what everybody has said and thank you everyone for, bringing the GOBA to town and the walleye tournament. Working downtown, I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of folks out and on around during the week, and they definitely love our community, and several of them made a comment that they would like to bring their families back, so that was really kind of nice to hear, that even with all the flooding, they enjoyed it here. And I think our citizens in our community were very conscious of the bicyclist, and it was nice to see people slowing down and paying attention to everyone. And thank you for everybody who helped with the torch run. That was a phenomenal event. I think this is our 5th year of having it, and it's nice to see the community out supporting our local athletes who participate in Special Olympics. I would like to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. If you're interested in getting up early and coming out and running in our 5K put on by Port Clinton Women's Club, the money raised does support women in our community with scholarships. So if you are not interested in running, we have plenty of squirt guns and corners that we will post you on to help not only with traffic, but cooling down our really hot runners. Sign up is at 8 o'clock and the race starts promptly at 9 a.m. So again, if you don't want to run, please come out and volunteer and give us a hand keeping our runners safe and cooling them down. So this is always a nice event, and we have visitors from all over who have already registered and reaching out to us to make sure that all of our festivities are still going on. And so yeah, it's nice to see everybody here. Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Thank you. Ms. Phillips.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, it is always nice to see how involved Main Street is now. I mean, I've watched it over the years become more and more, and it's amazing how many people they can draw in to help them with their individual projects, and I think it's just marvelous. I have a question, though, for Mr. Martin. Can you give us an update on Republic trash haulers? And remember 2 months ago, we had a meeting, there were complaints about the bills coming out without a contract. So can you update us a little bit on that, please?
I can tell you that we are continuing our negotiations to resolve the contract or get the new contract with Republic. There was correspondence today. We're still waiting on a couple items from them that were required as part of the submission. And those revolve around, at this point, the 5%, I believe it's 5% discount.
The annual discount.
The annual discount. Other than that, we're very close, I think, to signing, and we're probably going to have to adjust the dates of the signing, the actual contractual dates, because it was delayed so long from the expiration. They had given us an extension. So it's very minor details, and I would hope that by the next time this council meets, we should have be able to report that we have a contract has been inked.
Did they say anything why they sent out bills that last time and they were all wrong? Or was it just a fluff, or
they anticipated a contract. They were, previous administration had indicated that there would be a contract by that time, and there wasn't. You will recall I wasn't part of the administration at that time.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Mrs. Gilman.
Thank you, Madam President. We received these invitations also to the Ottawa County Family Advocacy Center. It's a new center on 570 South McKinley Drive. Their open house is Monday, July 8th from 12 to noon. They did have a site visit recently. I was able to go to and see what they're doing with Ticket to Success, Grand Love, Summer Lunch Program, CASA. TNT Mentoring for the whole county is actually in that building as well. It's a great facility, and I hope people can learn about the programs that they have for the community. Again, a big thank you to the chamber and all the volunteers. There were a lot of people that made the events happen this weekend. So many people in town. Only good comments from everybody. And I did see, the safety service director was out helping, the mayor was out, and just good to see so many people involved. The next Laws, Rules, and Ordinances meeting will be July 23rd at 6:30 p.m. That's a regularly scheduled time. And that's it, Madam President, nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hill.
Thank you, Madam President. Mrs. Goodwin, so what I was going to say. So you guys have to witness to my wife that I was going to share that tonight. I also want to say that Safety Town is this week at the fire department, and my little girl's in it, but it's the first time I've seen that program, and they do a really good job. Among other things, there's a lot to be proud of with the fire department and a lot of fire departments here in Portland. So I just want to give them some props, even though the chief's not here, but great program there. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Velo.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you.
Sorry, may I neglected to mention something?
Sure.
I'm sorry. I wanted to extend a thank you to the folks from the Professional Walleye Tournament. If you're not aware, every single fish that they caught and brought to shore was donated to the Wounded Warriors. There was a group of about 150 Wounded Warriors in our community over the weekend for a whole series of events. And every single fish that they brought in went to that program for a giant feed. So it was great to see, that these groups come into the community, and of course they open their wallets and go to the restaurants, but this group opened their hearts and helped folks that have done so much for all of us. And I just want to thank them, if you wouldn't mind passing that information along if you have a conversation with them. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the addition. Seeing no further business.
Madam President, I move this August 5 be adjourned.
No second. Second, Mrs. Sardi. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.